What up, though? It's your brother Mike X.
It's your man Sid Black.
Welcome to the 17 Winners podcast. My fault, man. I was a little hungry, you know.
I see.
Came noodles, though.
Came hard noodles.
You know what I should have? Yeah, I ain't never seen. If we would have had these in the joint, I ain't never seen these. I would, like, put it up in the camera, but I ain't finna give off the free sponsorship. We ain't on that, right? But I'm going to just say they stir fry. Korean barbecue flavor. I ain't even need a meat stick.
Hold on, let me see the seasonings on it.
So it's on the brown tip.
I don't like it. I'm a chicken noodle person. I don't like it. I don't like
dog,
it.
And the chicken noodle is the worst.
I don't like it.
Like my favorite noodle in the noodle pack was either the chili joints and then it was the spicy beef.
Nah, I'm straight.
And that's why. So that brings me to the next thing. Yeah. You see, brother Sydney, your man Sydney Black is here again. So this is the thing. We were so connected. We caught our case together, right? So
yeah, we caught our case together. We did about 9 out of the 10 out of the 14, 15 years together.
Facts. So because that 17 Winners is so connected to both of our lives, and then I have bro on here all the time as a reference. We kicking it all the time, and I'm always building with him about the podcast. So it only made sense for him to be a co-host with me. So
of course,
welcome him. Make sure. Do we got a hand clap this time? Last time we didn't have a hand clap. Let me see if we can get a hand clap for bro joining the podcast. All right. Now, with that being said, after I'm done with these noodles, I got to figure out something else to do because it's gonna be on that stomach, and I ain't doing all the workouts we was doing.
Clearly not. Shit, I want to. Speaking of noodles and stuff, I got a quick question.
What's up?
So when you first came into prison, of course we came in. We was 19, 18. We came in to MR. There was no day rooms, none of that.
Right.
How did you cook your noodle?
I actually had a bad experience with that coming in.
Okay.
So my experience, I had got a bunch of noodles, of course, because fresh off the street, I had a nice bag coming in.
Sure.
I got a bag of noodles, and I didn't know how to heat nothing up, and the old head told me make a stinger.
Yep. Same thing with me.
I wasn't making no stinger. Y'all know what a stinger?
What's a stinger?
Okay, so a stinger is when you take an extension cord and you cut off the extension plug part, the part that you plug another cord into. You cut that part off.
Cut that part off.
And then put like a fingernail or a fingernail clipper or a piece of metal.
You got to cut it, then you got to split it.
Oh, I forgot because you got to cut the extension cord at the end, and then you split it down the middle and expose the wires and wrap the wires around.
Absolutely.
Two pieces of metal.
You're gonna have to bite it, get the plastic off the wire.
I didn't bite it.
Yeah. Well, how'd you get it off, sir?
I don't think I've ever made a stinger from the beginning. That's what it is. I ain't never made a stinger. I always had somebody get them for me, or I'll steal a stinger. I was a good stealer of a stinger.
Yes.
If you let me borrow your stinger, I'm probably not going to just return your stingers. Yeah. Some people did sell stingers. Yeah, I done definitely bought a stinger. Because it ain't nothing but buying an extension cord and a pair of fingernail clippers, and then you can sell it for $5. So you spent about $2, and you made $5 off of it. So, but I wasn't doing that. I wasn't, because after you make the stinger, the key is you got to put this in with the two metal pieces inside a bowl of water, and then plug up the other side.
Plug it up.
Bro, I'm not plugging up. Not fresh off the street. They told me if you put water and electricity together,
that's what our mamas told us when we was young.
So, all right, so this is my bad experience. Boom. So instead of doing that, I just pushed that little drain thing where you the regular drain to get the water out of. Yeah, to get warm enough to wash your hands.
The toilet.
Basically the toilet water.
Right, the toilet.
It never gets actually hot, but it gets warm enough to wash your hands. Filled it up with the noodles. Filled that water up in there, let it blow up. Ate that mug, boy, about 8 o'clock, say 12. I was on the toilet with the talk about killed me I'm sitting in there, and then it was bars at MR. Right. So everybody on the rock, everybody sleep. Nighttime, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It's lockdown time. We in the room. I'm flushing it. Whoosh, whoosh. Man, that killed me, dog. How you do it? Did you try the stinger?
It took me about a good 2 months to even try it. Because everybody keep telling me, yo, try it. I'm like, my mama told me don't ever put no metal in no water. Plug it in. It just don't make no sense to me.
Don't do that.
So an old head finally convinced me to do it. I was hungry one night. It was late at night, too. I plugged it in. Washed it. Got the bubbling. Put that joint on in there. And it was good. Old head left. Now I don't got no stinger no more. I can't borrow his no more.
So you had to make one?
I had to make one.
You tried?
Yeah, I tried it. Ordered an extension cord on the commissary. Okay. Ordered fingernail clippers. Got them. Split them. Took the plastic off. Wired it up. Took a little piece in there. Put it in there. Plugged it up. Watched it go. Threw my noodles in there. Looked at it. All my noodles are different color.
Oh, yeah, because you ain't burn off
I forgot to burn off the metal off of the fingernail clippers.
Because it comes shiny
it comes shiny silver.
You got to burn it until it's
For you to cook rusty. It, you literally have to burn it until it's rusty brown.
I forgot about that, too. Yeah,
you literally have to do it until it's rusty brown. So picture that in your head. You actually cooking this water.
Did you eat them anyway?
Cooking your noodle. I can't remember. I may have. I can't remember, though. You're cooking your food with this burnt,
for real.
With this burnt metal, rusty thing, and you're eating it like it's supposed to happen.
Yeah. I never became so. Even today, females ask me like, "Can you cook?" My answer is no.
Absolutely.
Once I went to prison, and they started telling me how to cook up, I started. Mind you, I was in level 4s for a good 5-6 years in the beginning. So all we had was like stingers. It wasn't like day rooms at first.
Right.
Once I found out that's how you had to cook, I wasn't doing that. I might have used a stinger a couple times. Out of the whole time I was in the joint, I ain't doing no bunch of cooking. So since I didn't do that, I never got into cooking up in the joint. I always got a bag of stuff to put in the cook up. I'm not going to use the stinger or the microwave to cook up. So to this day, I still ain't doing the cooking up. I put the food in the microwave, in the refrigerator, though.
Yeah. I was the one that was doing the cooking in there. Right. When it came to like between me and him and our little circle.
Speaking of, is somebody gonna cook up for my birthday?
Yeah.
Or your birthday? One of them?
One of them. Somebody has to, but I'm not.
Both of our birthdays is coming up this month. Mine is like in a week. Mm-hmm. Yours is
the
like
26th.
Yeah.
11 days after.
10 days after. Yeah, 11 days after. So I put on Facebook or on social media in general that I wanted to do a cook-up, penitentiary style. I want to record it. I want to have the guys come on and do the cook-up. Somebody come on that can really cook. Please don't hit me about cooking up if you cook up like with the fat, wet noodles.
Yeah, we don't want that. It's a difference. Soggy levels.
Or if you cook up with square noodles at all.
Right.
If you're not using like cup noodles.
No, what do you mean?
I'm not eating. I don't like them.
He done got bougie since he been home.
I only eat cup of soup. I was only eating cup of soups in the joint. Cup of soups and rice. By the time I came home, I was only eating cup of soups and rice in my noodles, bro. I was not eating cook-ups with no damn flat noodles. Them was so nasty. They blow up so big. Oh, I forgot you be liking them fat.
Let me make a cook-up. He ain't finna do the bowl like this.
He ain't
finna move the bowl to the side. Nah, he gonna bring it here.
He
gonna bring it on in. So yeah,
that's fact. I'm trying to get a tuna do. No, I'm trying to get a nacho do for the B-Day. Can I get a couple of guys together? Let's do a nacho do for the B-Day. Or for the B-Day month or something. Let's do it. Scraps, all that. Y'all will get used to the like scraps, what that mean. So what you been doing on the workout tip? You know, it's the new year. Everybody talking about changing their life and getting right and getting their summer bodies together. What you been doing?
I thought real hard about it. Thought real hard about it. I looked at the weights. I picked them up. I adjusted them. That's about it.
Hey, was it weird going to the gym the first time?
Yeah, yup. Because I went there to be seen. I ain't go there to work out. I went there to look like the biggest dude in there. Because I was.
Because you was?
Yeah, I was fresh out of prison.
Right?
Yeah, so I ain't really.
It's crazy because when I go to the gym,
I didn't.
Compared to being in a penitentiary, I always felt small.
Yeah.
For some reason. Mind you, I'm 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds. I fluctuate between, 190, 210 here, give or take. Mm-hmm. I'm a pretty big guy when it comes to the average guy. But in the joint, bro, I felt little all the time.
Me too.
Mind you, I'm in there pressing 225 for 10s and 20s, easy. Like, I'm pressing, this is my workout. If I can do 225 on everything.
With 225.
If I can do 225 on anything, with everything, then I'm straight. I'm in there looking at guys doing 300, 315. Like, bro, out here, you grab 225 looking like me, they be like, look at him.
Right.
Look at him.
He's strong. Can I work out with you? That's all you get.
Everybody that fresh out the joint go to the gym.
It wasn't that
trainer.
It wasn't that weird for me.
No?
Nah, not really.
So why you ain't in the gym?
Got responsibilities now, brother. Life done happened, man.
Talk about that. Talk about like responsibilities, because that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're incarcerated, the only responsibility you really have is to wake up and go to sleep, pretty much, and go eat. You have no other responsibility.
Right.
So, taking into account that we were away at such a young age, we didn't really have too much responsibility before we even got incarcerated.
Right.
Yep. So coming home and dealing with the responsibilities and everything, it takes probably, I would say it may have taken me 4 years after I was released from prison to actually kick into being responsible on a for real level. Actually paying bills and taking care of a house and taking care of this and that, taking care of own personal needs, car needs, all of that different type of stuff. But that's one of the things that the penitentiary can take away from you. It can, it can take away your ability to pretty much function in everyday life by yourself.
I think I honestly started understanding responsibility in the real way when I had my son. Mm-hmm. And this was literally just like a year ago. But not that I was irresponsible. I keep a car. I always got somewhere to stay. Like, I keep myself up. I'm taking care of business. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the real, like the serious stuff, the future building type of stuff, like looking to be a homeowner one day or wanting to know how to balance. Like, I just started a budget, my first real budget, versus like, all right, I'm going to stack this stack season. It's the wintertime. I'm finna stack. Like, no, I'm not a hustler. I ain't selling dope. I ain't trapping. So, like, I need to start living like a person who has a future, who's going to be out here for a while.
Absolutely.
So, like, that type of stuff didn't start happening until I had a son, and I had to think about, like, all right, when he's in first grade, what is he going to be doing? Right. What am I going to be doing for him then? All right, I could be successful in entrepreneurship, or my career can take off in sales or whatever, but like, what exactly will I be doing? And if you don't have anything secure, you don't really know. And it's kind of like when we were doing our bid. Like, at least then I knew what to expect in 5 years.
Right.
Because I was inside of a system and everything happened systematically.
Absolutely.
And systems work. Like we talked about on the last episode, we was talking about incarceration, or being institutionalized versus being a criminal. Like, institutionalization is not necessarily a bad thing. It just literally means systematic way of doing things. So that being the case, you have to develop systems out here to like keep life in balance.
Absolutely.
And hell, it took me a while to start really understanding that, to put everything in its place and be on point with that type of stuff. That was a big thing for me.
And for me, it was like I had that in place when I got home, it was when I lost it for a minute and then had to gain it back. Because once you, well, I ain't gonna say once, everybody. For me, I came home focused. All right, I got to do this, that. All right, now the house is good. Now I'm moving on to this. I'm finna go jump into school. Now I'm doing this. Got to find a job and do school. Oh, can't do both. Fell off.
Right.
Boom. And then started getting away from it. That's when all the systems started falling. That's when you get to searching and get to trying to figure things out again. You just did it?
Dog. And I knew it, though.
Yeah.
Because I do it with every noodle that I eat. Like, it's crazy. It's just my thing. It's just literally my thing. Because I get to the bottom of them noodles, and they get to be so good. I know y'all like the juice, like the bottom part of the noodle. Like, come on. I can't be the only one that like get to that bottom part of the noodle.
You're not going to scrape and slurp the noodle on the...
I can't, because it's like people going to be seeing this. So I can't like let y'all into my life like that. See you catch me drinking noodle juices. Like,
right.
That's not a thing. So
yeah, but that's what people got to understand, man. Like, once you lose focus, it's okay to lose focus. Like, it's going to happen. But you have to hone in on a series of events that's going to come up in your life for you to get back focused. Because things are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be opportunities and be like, no, hold on, let me switch this back up again.
For sure. That's crazy because you kind of led up to our guest on the podcast today, so I might as well go ahead and introduce him. We got a guest. His name is Charles Rolsche. He comes from the Offender Empowerment Center. Not Offender Empowerment. What's the name of it?
The Financial Empowerment Center or the Office of Financial Empowerment?
Office of Financial Empowerment. With that being said, we might as well just call him up and let him break it down himself. Come on over here. Let's get you mic'd up.
Hi, my name is Joshua Southern, CEO, owner, producer here at Risky Studios. Risky Studios was established with creators in mind. We are a multimedia production studio providing space and equipment for podcasting, photography, videography, and music production. We serve as an incubator for original ideas and authentic artistic expression. Being located in downtown East Lansing, we hope to be able to connect the student population at Michigan State University to the surrounding communities that tend to be overlooked and counted out in a college town. With outside funding, we are able to make creativity accessible to underserved populations and provide them with resources and opportunities that are not otherwise available to them. With our Christian record label, Risky Music Group, now headquartered at Risky Studios, we aim to reach and inspire Christian and non-Christian individuals with positive music and authentic stories. We thank you for the opportunity and hope that you can assist us in our efforts to live and create authentically and provide that opportunity for others. Thank you.
Like I said, we're here with Charles Rolsche of Michigan's Offender Success Program. I got it right that time. You know, I'll be high, bro. It's a thing.
It happens.
It happens. So, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to 17 Wonders Podcast.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
I think you're the first person that I've had on the podcast that has not been to prison. Unless you got a pass, I don't know. You got a seedy history.
I have not been to prison.
Okay.
At least with this identity. No.
Okay, all right.
No, I've actually just started working kind of in the criminal justice community just for the past couple of years. So It's all very kind of new to me, and you know, I'm learning a lot now that the pandemic is kind of lifting up. Mm-hmm. So I'm just happy to be here and kind of talk to you and your audience about what we do and how we can do it better, and you know, any kind of questions that you guys have.
For sure. Well, before I even get into any questions that we may have about the program, I want you to like kind of give them an introduction of yourself. Like, kind of tell them who you are, where you start, because you say you only been in this sector for a couple of years, right?
Sure, right.
Where'd you get your start? Like, how'd you get even involved?
Yeah, I got my start in the social services through kind of the homeless shelter. I worked for a local one here in East Lansing for about 6 years as kind of their office admin and kind of, they did their accounting and the books and answered calls and kind of, talked to all the different stakeholders in the community. So the volunteers and the donors and the residents who stay there, kind of, I was doing kind of all that interface with them. And then I decided to kind of continue that passion of mine in the social services sector because, I kind of feel like, you can do a lot with your life, but when you're helping people, that's kind of, to me, that's the most fulfilling kind of way to spend my time. So
for sure.
I find it, incredible to help people who are coming out of prison who are, struggling to get back on their feet. And I just enjoy really being a part of that community and working with MDOC and the other community partners that we have to help people to integrate back into the community.
Well, I want to kind of hone in on exactly what made you pick former offenders, or people incarcerated coming home. Mm-hmm. Because you could have went a few different ways when it comes to helping different people, but you specifically chose to help incarcerated individuals that are coming home that are struggling. Mm-hmm. What made you do that?
Well, I saw that as kind of the greatest need. I mean, there's really no other kind of population or anything who faces the specific kind of serious challenges that people who are coming back into the community from prison. There's so many ways that they're treated like second-class citizens anyway, even when they've served their time and they've done, their complete sentence and, they're released, but, it's hard for them to secure housing or employment or, just kind of get back on their feet.
It's crazy because when I met him, the first thing I said was like, dude, where the hell were you when I came home?
Right.
Like, because I didn't have access to a lot when I came home, and I served my sentence. I felt like I served my debt to society, and I was now like one of the good guys, so to speak. Like, I'm not coming here to cause trouble. Not only am I not coming to like get back involved in trouble, but I'm also coming with a mind of trying to help prevent stuff from happening. So damn, it's crazy that every avenue that I try to take, the doors are closed for me. So I really felt a level of resentment, I guess, towards any type of programming at that point. Like, damn, it's not even an almost thing. It really is society acts as if sending someone to prison for any term of sentence is sending them away forever. And it's not. Mm-hmm. People are coming home. No matter, most of the people that go to prison come back home from prison. Therefore, they're going to come back to the communities that they left from.
Right.
If there are no resources and no opportunities for us to do different, or even like have an even playing field,
right?
What exactly are we expected to do?
Right, and it's an old cliche saying that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Facts.
And I think MDOC and kind of the offender success program, is incrementally trying to provide those kind of reentry services for people who are coming out of prison, because I think that they realize that it wasn't working, in the 80s and 90s, and in the 2000s is kind of when the prisoner reentry program started. So, it's kind of, it had been, I'm very contextual, so I tried to learn a lot about kind of the history of this. So, about 20 years ago when they started providing just basic services to people who were coming out of prison. They saw that, the return to prison rate was declining. And then the more that they provide services and support to people coming out, the lower that return to prison rate is. So it's really kind of a benefit to not only the people who are coming out of prison,
right,
but also the communities that they come out to, because, they're afforded those kind of opportunities.
So this is an MDOC program. This is how does this program, program come about? Who is behind the program?
Yeah, so it's totally funded by the Department of Corrections,
really?
Which I understand you guys and probably your audience don't have the best,
I'm actually
thoughts of.
I'm actually surprised that it's fully funded by the MDOC, actually.
Right.
Why?
I'm surprised because during my time of incarceration in there and coming home, and I've only been home, I want to say it's been 8 years that I've been home, 8 going on 9 years. I haven't had too many occasions or people that I've talked to that wanted to actually help people stay out of prison that much. And especially from the MDOC, you would think that they would be in the business of keeping prisoner population at a higher rate. That's my experience with them. Mm-hmm. The more people are in prison, the more money that they make. So to hear that the MDOC is fully funding a program to help prisoners transition to stay home instead of go back is kind of, surprising to me.
Me too. That's kind of where I was at with it as well. Yeah. Like, okay, so what is the MDOC's benefit of this program? How do they benefit from this? Because if everybody who, say, uses this program were to make it, they don't fall back into the recidivism statistic and go back, and that continues to happen. Of course, like, crime is not going to stop happening, so they're going to continue to have a client base to service with having an institution, but eventually the decrease will affect the bottom line. So what will be the benefit of the MDOC for such a program?
Well, the MDOC is short-staffed right now, so they have to they have to fill those spots. So they are closing a prison right now. I think it's in Ionia. It's the Michigan Penitentiary.
Michigan
Reformatory.
Closing that again. I didn't even realize they were closing again.
They're closing that again. And I think that there's a culture change there where you're saying they're losing out money when they're losing prisoners, but I think that the culture shift is there where they're helping the state of Michigan when they're helping people come out of prison. They're becoming an agent of not punishment, but of reform for the state of Michigan. I think that's kind of where the Department of Corrections would. I'm not a spokesperson for the department or anything.
Right, for sure.
So I don't want to go out on a limb there, but
if that's the case, that's big. And it's huge.
Yeah, and any kind of culture shift like that. I'm sure there were interactions that people have had with MDOC that were disappointing. Where they may have faced prejudices or that stuff is still happening. Right. And I try to advocate for all my clients, if they're having a legitimate problem with somebody who's in the MDOC. But I think that overall it's shifting more towards that, or shifting away from that kind of paradigm of punishment.
Yeah, sounds good. So you are part of the MDOC's budget or the Michigan State budget?
Well, the MDOC is part of the Michigan State budget. So we're a small portion of the MDOC's budget. It's
because you only cover so much of an area, right?
Right. So it's a statewide program, but my area is specifically in the Tri-County, so Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton counties around the capital city.
Okay. It's the iPhone, bro. Catch that. Yeah. You can hand it to bro. We good. You know what type of podcast this is.
It happens.
It happens. Yeah. I'm making sure it ain't something important. That's just the old man. I'll talk to him in a minute. Old man free. He good now.
He good now.
Yeah, he good now. So so that's the thing. I don't know how much you caught up on the podcast, but my dad was incarcerated.
Okay.
He just came home a little early at the end of 2022. He just came home. He's doing good now. Mm-hmm. So I got you, old man. I'll catch up with you in a minute. You know, I'm working right now. We'll get to it. But so where are you from exactly?
Well, I've spent the most time in the Lansing area, but originally I was from Chicago, and we moved out of there into Grand Rapids when I was in 96, so I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
And then I went to MSU, where I studied journalism. So I love being on podcasts.
Okay. All right.
And but I wasn't so in love with kind of the commercial media aspect of it. So graduating during a recession is not always the best after college plan.
Right.
So I did a few service industry jobs for a few years until I started working at that homeless shelter, Haven House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the Haven House.
And my own family had some. Well, I was an infant, so I didn't remember it, but they had kind of a housing crisis of their own. They were foreclosed on.
Oh.
And they, well, the story is that my dad had bribed the deputy, the Cook County deputy,
to
give them another couple of weeks for them to find an apartment. But,
You hear him?
so
Hey, it happens.
it happens,
That's how it goes.
You know about the Haven House?
Yes, secondarily. I know a couple people that used to be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just learned about a house over on, it's like off Willow, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, off Willow. That's like for returning citizens as well. I got to do a little bit more investigation on that actually because I want to.
Yeah, I think it's called Stepping Stones.
Yeah.
I think that it might actually be closing soon.
Really?
I heard, yeah.
Dang.
From your experience through the program, what's the main or the most thing that the returning prisoners have to their need? What do they need the most from you?
I think the thing that they need the most is patience because patience. I mean, trying to tell someone how to use a computer who did not have access to a computer or a phone or, things have changed so much in just the past 10 years. Some of these guys who are coming out have been in for 25 or something like that, so or even longer. So I think that, offender success specifically focuses on housing and employment. Those are its main two pillars. But then also, also like social supports and kind of mental health and kind of behavioral health therapies. If someone has like a DV conviction, they'll receive programming through us.
I was just going to say, what are like some of the criteria for the type of client that you guys work with? Because everybody coming out of prison doesn't necessarily have access, right?
Right.
So who does have access to the program, and what does the future look like for the program, I'll say?
So MDOC conducts pre-parole.
Right.
Conducts assessments, and based on those assessments, which I'm not super familiar with, to be fair, kind of designates whether someone's at high risk of reoffending and returning to prison. And so those people who are medium to high risk, are referred to our program. Like I said, most of it is employment. We'll help them find a job, help them get the work tools that they need, whether that means steel-toed boots or just kind of service industry clothing or anything like that. And then housing if they don't have any kind of placement with their family or any kind of parole housing. And with that, we try to focus on establishing a budget, kind of how to talk to landlords. We partner with the city's housing ombudsman's office for Rent Smart program.
Okay. The Rent Smart program.
Yeah, so the Rent Smart program kind of teaches people how to be, a good tenant.
That's definitely a thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing, to learn how to manage your neighborhood, your area, where the neighbors that you have to live next to. Right. Especially when you just only have bunkies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I understand that.
Yeah. So that they talk about what to look for in a lease, how to fix little household problems, those kind of things. And then we also partner with the Financial Empowerment Center, which is part of the same office that I'm in. So I work for the city technically with the Department of Neighborhoods and Citizen Engagement. And then within that department, there's the Office of Financial Empowerment.
Right. I went there today, actually. I had a meeting with them today. Great meeting. I definitely recommend it, especially if you've been to the joint and you are coming home and you need to figure out how to balance your budget and get your financial life in order.
That was at the Cristo Rey up on High Street?
Yep.
Yeah, up on High Street in Old Town at Cristo Rey is where they're located at. And, we have people... Part of living in our housing is that you are required to go to a monthly meeting there where they kind of track savings goals, your income, work on your credit score, which is a huge part of modern life, which it had not been, typically for people who had been in prison. So, it's all those little kind of services there to help you get your finances straight. And then, finding employment, saving up that money, and kind of focusing on finding a place of your own. So something that you've chosen, not just something that we'll put you in, we'll stick you in.
Right. Yeah. From your experience over the last couple of years, is it more jobs, a lot of jobs that are willing to hire ex-offenders now?
Yeah, there are a lot of employment opportunities. For the past few years, it's really been employee kind of driven economy. And I feel like it still kind of is. I mean, people have a lot of vacancies right now.
True.
So they just need bodies.
True.
And, when they're desperate for employees, that's something that people who are coming out of prison can leverage because, if you show up every day, that's what you need. Right. And that's kind of what I tell people about, landlords too. At the end of the day, a landlord wants someone to pay the rent.
Right.
So
as long as
as long as you can pay the rent, you gotta kind of sell yourself on that. So,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So before I get ready to wrap it up and let you go, I know since you broke down your career history, you never worked in the prison system, right?
No.
So this is kind of
because I was hired during the pandemic. I haven't even been able to visit a prison.
Oh, you never even visited?
Right.
No.
Oh, damn. So
I know.
So all yours.
I'm still a babe in the woods.
all your pretty much your knowledge and experience and about the penitentiary comes from ex-offenders.
Guys coming home. And that's what I was going to
ask.
Have you dealt with something weird coming up with dealing with some of the offenders that's come home? Because I know even now I still have quirks that are weird shit that I do. My girl will tell you, or
facts.
My mom or somebody close to me will tell you, man, he does this. Yeah. I ain't telling y'all what it is either. If you don't know me, I'm not
keep that
put me out there like that. But it's certain stuff that we all brought home with us that we do. Some weird. Trust me, I know. I've seen the weirdest of the weird. Yeah. So have you had any weird or funny experiences dealing with any of the clients?
I mean, I for sure have, but I don't want to really share them. I don't want to put their own stuff on blast. But yeah, just generally speaking, people coming out of prison are just very happy to be out. The guys who are staying in my housing, I have to kind of talk to them about collecting stuff, because they'll kind of pack stuff away. Yeah, I'm like,
you gotta
kind of thin out your stuff right now. I appreciate that, you you got to have an exit plan right now.
Yeah, for sure.
This is only supposed to be transitional. You're only supposed to be here for like 90, maybe 120 days, something like that.
Speaking of that, what are the rules to be able to live in a house?
Well, they would have to have no other options. So they would have to be referred to it by their parole agent, their individual agent.
Okay.
So things like no visitors, no family members, no children whatsoever on the property, obviously because of CSC cases.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's very. I try to, I try not to put people on a leash. That's not my job. I'm not their CEO. I'm really there to help them to stabilize, feel stable, and kind of focus them on the next steps. So, obviously, no smoking inside, no drinking, all those regular parole rules that they have.
Right.
But, we don't have like a curfew or anything like that. But, it's kind of the thing that's like, if you're not in your bed at 11 o'clock, like, why not? Are you working towards something of your own or not? So, it's that kind of philosophy that I have for people who are coming out. Because, I've heard it so many times that people just want to just, like, chill for a week. And I'm like, okay, like, I get it. Like, you were coming out of prison after 20 years, so I won't ride you about going to
I never wanted to chill.
So whatever, but
have you encountered some people that said, I can't do this, I'm out, I have to leave the house because just sitting back thinking, no, I know that I could handle that. I know a lot of people that can't handle it, but I know it's probably some people that probably look at it like it's an opportunity to come home and have housing, but now I have these rules again like I just had in prison.
We definitely have had absconders, people who just kind of abandon or take off or, that thing or anything like that. Typically, I don't really talk to them because they leave. They know what they want and they don't want that. So,
right.
I think it's important to, not carry that over to the next guy. That's really, you gotta give everybody a fresh take.
Absolutely.
And so, if someone burns you, that doesn't mean the next guy's gonna.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you gotta have kind of a little bit of.
That's some of the dumbest shit in the world. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not? I understand there's rules, but it's kind of like if I had the choice of being in prison for a year or being on tether for a year. Bro, I don't want to be on nothing.
Right.
But if I'm going to be at home, I get to see my kids. I get to eat what I want. I don't have to ask to use the bathroom. I can go get some pussy.
Yep.
Bro, I ain't going to, what do you mean I can't
housing.
follow the rules? Well, that's why I said go. That's why I said go. Go. You can go. Like you said, be in the house by 11. All right, that means after work or in between or whatever, I got time to spend doing free time stuff. You can't do that in jail.
No, you can't.
So I don't give a damn what rules you got to follow. Like, how is that hard? I don't understand how that be so hard.
I mean,
Right. I don't understand it, but it happens.
Right, it happens. People think different all the time. Like I've come across people who make decisions, and I don't understand why. I really don't understand why they did that. I deal with it all the time, but I try not to get hung up on why, someone made a different decision than I would have made.
Right.
Because they came from a different place than I did.
Because if you leave there, you would literally be absconding. Right. Because it's court ordered for you to live there.
It's parole.
Correct? Yeah, parole ordered for you to live there. Yeah, that's a deep mindset to have. To actually know what but
that's why when he said that, like, about the chilling for a week, like, bro, I ain't never want to chill.
Yeah.
I ain't spend no time chilling. You picked me up from prison. Did I chill?
No, you didn't chill.
We ain't doing no chilling.
Yeah, but we've also know that 3 out of the 5 people that walked out the door with you probably chilled. They probably went home, sat down, cracked one open, chilled with their girl, probably chilled for a week or two. That happens a lot.
Right? I mean, yeah, because they get caught up in the party of being home, too, and all that. But, yeah, no, I ain't do no chilling.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I appreciate you stopping by the podcast. I want you to give them a little bit of information, how to get in contact with the program and whatever else you wanted to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, we serve people who are actively on parole. So if you feel like you need any kind of service that I described, housing, employment, social supports, things like bus passes, we can help out with. Talk to your agent. If you're actively on parole, talk to your agent about kind of the things that you need. I mean, I primarily, because it's Tri-County, we have those 3 different parole offices, but the majority of my cases come through Ingham, obviously, for obvious reasons. So, I have a working relationship with all those agents and the supervisors there. So if there is something that needs to be done, don't hesitate to ask. That's always what I tell the guys who get referred to my program too. If there's something that you need that I didn't describe, and this is during the transitional team meeting, this is a couple weeks before they're released, then ask for it. Even if you didn't hear it here, ask for what you need.
Right.
Because there may be something out in the community that I'm working with that can help. I just went down to the Ingham County Health Department and I talked with the people at Pathways who help people find doctors on Medicaid and stuff. So, that's obviously not something that I or anybody that I work with directly at Offender Success does. But if you're having trouble finding a doctor, I can send you right to them. I've met them now. I know them.
Right.
So I can send you right there.
Right, for sure.
So that's just an example. You said okay, so I just have one parting thing
for sure
to talk about. And it's because I'm so new, right, to the criminal justice arena. There's something that just bothered me about it. I was thinking, and I was like, there's no word for what we are actively trying to do. There are only words for what we are trying to stop or avoid. So reoffending, recidivism, reincarceration, return to prison. Those are all the negative things that we're trying to reduce. But what are we actually trying to increase?
Community reentry.
Right. But there's words like that, people who are formerly incarcerated or justice adjacent individuals or returning citizens. But there's no word for it. And I was thinking there needs to be an opposite word of recidivism. And I was just like, well, where did that word even come from?
Right.
So I looked it up and I found out that it was originally from the 15th century.
Okay.
And it was from France. So it's based in Latin.
Okay.
And it meant for someone to fall, or to fall back. And it was originally described to people who fell out of their faith, who lost their faith.
So recidivism would be falling and then falling again.
No, just recidivism is its own word. Re is not a part of it.
Well, that's what made me say that, because if recidivism means to fall.
No, recidivism just means to fall.
Oh, the word recidivism means to fall.
Because it's Latin. It doesn't have those kind of it doesn't have the English rules to it.
Okay.
But it got adopted in English back in the late 1800s. Back when the criminal justice was forming as a field, and you had this kind of race-based ideology of criminality. You are a criminal. There's nothing you can do about it. It is who you are. So recidivism is just somebody who just falls back into their criminal lifestyle. They're always going to be a criminal. That is who they are.
That's deep.
And so, as a word, I think it's really it's a bad word, and it doesn't have an opposite. It's not like hot, which has cold. Right?
What would the word be for us? Pretty much.
So that's the question.
That's what he's asking.
So I asked. Yeah. So I emailed an MSU Latin professor, and I was like, "Hey, listen, there's this Latin word, recidivist, and it means to fall." And I Googled what it means to rise up in Latin, and I was like, "Does this make sense?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's that would be about what it is. And it's new, it's prosilist.
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 We are prosilist.
So we're trying to reduce recidivism.
Okay.
But we're trying to increase prosilism.
Okay, now we 17 Winners Podcast just gave you a whole new word, whole new term. Make sure you lock that in. Prosilism, which is the opposite of recidivism, which is basically to define an individual who has come home and made the correct moves or stood up versus falling back.
Exactly.
Bing bong.
Prosilist.
Bing bong. Bing to the bong. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Charles.
I definitely appreciate that. Okay. I appreciate that as a parting word. So with that said,
I appreciate you guys having me on.
I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you leaving that word. I definitely appreciate the work that you're doing with the Offender Success Program. Mm-hmm. We definitely needed it when we came home, but hell, that does not change the fact that people need it every day. Somebody's coming home every day, and everybody is not a recidivist. Everybody is not prone to falling back into criminal behavior. Some of us want to do better and more. So I appreciate that work, bro. You had anything you want to say?
Yes. Do you have any contact information, social media,
contact information, whatever,
email, especially for people that want to come and actually help and provide services to you
support
guys.
or anything?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not on social media really, but you can always email me at charles.rolch, and I hope you leave this in the program notes.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put it.
Because
I'll definitely put
it a little messed up.
Yeah. I'll put it in the comments on the YouTube section.
That'll be at lansingmi.gov.
Okay.
And then you can always talk to your parole agent if you're actively on parole and are interested in it. And then I have a phone number too, but I don't have it memorized. I never call myself.
Okay.
Right.
So the best way to get in contact with you.
Check it in the liner notes. I will.
Yeah, right. I'll put it in the description. I'll put how to get in touch with the Offender Success Program in the description.
I appreciate it.
You guys have a website for the Offender Success Program?
The state of Michigan has just kind of a general website about offender success.
But I ain't gonna lie, if you are like us, they won't get it. Because I literally had to call Charles and text them the regular way because when I got on the website, all I did was got irritated.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. When you've been in the joint a long time, it's that computer, man, sometimes it gets irritating. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in with 17 Winners Podcast. We will see y'all in the next episode.
See ya.
Free the real. Keep the rest. Free the real.